All media was found on the public domain protected by fair use of U.S. copyright law. These are only my opinions, and I encourage you to do your own research. Today's shoutout goes to Vero C. I completely agree. Comment below for a chance at next week's shoutout. It's part 2 of Meghan and Harry's constant contradictions. And what I mean by contradictions is anything Haz or his wife have said or done that directly contradicts with what they've previously said on record. There's quite a few more, so let's get started.
You know, unlike what you see in the movies, there's no class on how to speak, how to cross your legs, how to be royal. There's none of that training. That might exist for other members of the family. That was not something that was offered to me.
Picking up from the last video, the wife's next contradiction is that she claims she got zero instruction, but Finding Freedom, a book she admitted to directly contributing to, claims she received a 2-hour masterclass from the Queen herself. We've also seen those massive folders she was carrying around. A certain royal expert confirmed they contained extensive homework. And we can't forget the 6-month Duchess lessons. Her Majesty's most trusted advisor even delayed her resignation to help Meghan adjust.
Now, I thought genuinely that was what happens outside.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the fanfare.
Next, Miss Markle claims she didn't know there was protocol in private. If that's true, why would she schedule a 2-hour lesson on how to properly drink tea with the Queen? Obviously, she wouldn't be taking tea with Her Majesty outside Windsor's gates in front of a crowd. During the Oprah interview, Meghan claimed, quote, "When I joined that family, that was the last time, until we came here, that I saw my passport, my driver's license, my keys. All that gets turned over. I didn't see any of them anymore." She was implying that she wasn't allowed to travel anywhere and was locked away in a tower like Rapunzel. And yet, somehow she managed to not only travel for royal duties, but also take private jets for 13 personal holidays all over the world. Baby showers, weddings, birthdays with celebrities. If that's being trapped inside the royal family, lock me up.
There was some real obvious signs before we even got married that this was going to be really hard.
No, the family together have been absolutely, solid support.
And I'm incredibly grateful to her and the rest of my family for the support they have shown Meghan and I over the last few months.
Harry told Oprah they didn't have any support from the family and that he knew from the start that they were going to make their lives as working royals, quote unquote, really hard. However, throughout those 2 years, and even after they decided to leave, the Markles insisted that the family had been supportive, directly contradicting themselves.
That conversation I'm never going to share, but that was right at the beginning.
One of the major bombshells of the Oprah interview was the claim that a member of the royal family had concerns, quote unquote, about their baby's skin color. Harry said there was one conversation before they got married, and in the same interview, his wife claimed it was several conversations while she was pregnant. If you're gonna be on national television, at least get your story straight.
I went to all the places which I thought I should go to ask for help.
So here we have Harry stating that he went to multiple places to ask for help, but later Oprah asked him, "So then did you tell other people in the family, I have to get help for her, we need help for her?" "No, that's just not a conversation that would be had." "Why?" "I guess I was ashamed of admitting it to them. I didn't have anyone to turn to." So tell me, Harry, how did you ask for help if you were too ashamed to? And ashamed of what? That your wife needed help? Personally, if my spouse couldn't trust themselves to be left alone, I wouldn't drag them to a Cirque du Soleil performance. But that's just me.
And I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help, and I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution.
Another contradiction. Meg claimed the palace prevented her from getting mental health treatment as a matter of life or death, but at the same time, she had complete control over which doctors and hospitals she used? Something just doesn't add up. Next, Harry insisted that in his family, the topic of mental health is strictly off limits. He said, quote, "For the family, they very much have this mentality of, this is just how it is. This is how it's meant to be. You can't change it. We've all been through it."
And to show people how to have those, what we're calling sort of simple conversations, and starting those conversations, which is often the hardest bit, really.
Yeah, if you can have a family environment where you can talk openly about your issues, that makes for a better family, better preparation, so it just goes on and on and on.
The royal family has proven time and again that that's just not true. It's almost as if he forgot that William and he started a little thing called Heads Together. Other members of the family, including Prince Charles, have been very open about their mental health struggles and the importance of mental health support. Another load of rubbish from the Sussexes.
America is a nation of believers.
The Harkles contradicted themselves once again when they made it known they wouldn't move back to the US while Orange Man was still in office. And we all know how that turned out. Pandemic or not, don't make promises you can't keep.
What was his first word?
Crocodile.
Crocodile.
3 syllables.
Archie's first word. Now, honestly, who cares, right? But it's just another example of the Duke and Duchess of Montecito contradicting themselves. And his first words were quite extraordinary for a baby. First it was crocodile, then it was Grandma Diana. In the words of the great Lady C, what's next? Onomatopoeia? I'm just waiting for the announcement that the toddler has earned his doctorate from Stanford.
3 days before our wedding, we got married. No one knows that.
This one's pretty self-explanatory. She claimed they married in secret, but they were later forced to admit her claim was untrue. What's it called when you say something that's untrue? It'll come to me. One of the first signs not all was well at Kensington Palace was the rumor that Meghan made Kate cry at a dress fitting before the wedding. But recently, Miss Markle claimed that
The reverse happened.
However, in Finding Freedom, the authors dismissed the claims of a feud as untrue. I have my own suspicions, and I also believe Kate apologizing and sending Meghan flowers was not an admission of guilt, but a gesture to appease Duchess Difficult so they could squash it and move on.
Because you didn't have a plan.
We didn't
We
have
have a plan.
That was suggested by somebody else.
These two claimed to have no plan, to make it seem as if their decision to leave was last minute. But their actions long before Megxit prove otherwise. It has come out that they were lining up multiple commercial ventures as early as 2 years before exiting, which, if you do the math, was even before the wedding. Netflix, Quibi, and who knows what else. This was not last minute, and there's no way Meghan Markle did not have a plan.
So you left because you were asking for help and couldn't get it?
Yeah, basically.
Basically. Seems to me they couldn't get help because they weren't asking for it. It's widely known that originally they wanted to be half in, half out royals, having the royal perks while also being able to personally monetize their royal connection. Their Megxit statement read, they felt they could continue to carry out their duties for Her Majesty while having the future financial autonomy to work externally. Work externally. If that's not a Meghanism, I don't know what is. They also wanted to proudly carry out works for the monarchy. Why would you want to proudly carry out works for a monarchy that is unsupportive, cruel, and racist? This geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born. You mean the royal tradition you were trapped in, Harry? The narrative of why they left only changed when they didn't get what they wanted. We were all dying to know. Why wasn't Meghan going to Prince Philip's funeral? Meg contradicted herself several times with this one. First, it was that her doctors advised her not to travel. Then, it was she had left it up to Harry to decide if she would go or not. And then, it was to avoid being the center of attention. How generous and selfless of her! Did she think that by releasing multiple reasons that everyone would just pick the one they liked best? The more reasons you throw out, the less truthful you sound. Meghan implied to Oprah, and therefore the world, that Archie wasn't given a title because of his skin color, with nothing to back that up. She said, we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born. Side note, what infant needs their own security? I digress. Anyway, guess who has the power to give out titles? You guessed it. The Queen. Not the firm, not men in gray suits, the Queen. So she was indirectly accusing Her Majesty of racism. Then she goes and names her only daughter after her? Who in their right mind would name their child after someone who thought their skin was too dark and was the figurehead of an institution that had abused them so? It doesn't add up, you guys. But you all knew that. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video and don't forget to subscribe. I've got lots of videos lined up, so click that notification bell. Love you guys.